Hey folks, welcome back to Abundant Life Homestead. I'm doing some cleanup out in the campsite today, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to take a break from that, bring you out to the meadow, and get you caught up on all that's going on out here. Now, if you've been following us for a while, this is an area that I've always called the South Pasture, and we kind of decided this year that we really don't use this area that much. We don't need it that much. We don't do anything with it. So it seems kind of silly to just keep mowing it over and over and not using it. So we decided this year instead we would do a little bit of maintenance on it and then let it grow. Give it to God for a while. We plowed the area, we tilled the area, and then we planted it real thick with seeds, some of which would be very beneficial to nature and some of which are very beneficial to the ground. And we're just going to let it grow for a long time. Now, before we get into the planted area though, I think I want to walk around and talk about some of what is naturally growing around here. Now, all around our property, and in this meadow in particular, we have a lot of wild plants that we just like to let naturally grow. You're going to see a lot of tall grasses around, but within that grass, there's still a lot of other plants and life. Got some creeping Charlie down in here. Got some violets that have already bloomed, and they're done for the year. All kinds of red clover here. We really like having the red clover around. It's good for the rabbits. It's good for the deer. Burrs, lots of burrs. Ragweed. More burrs. You know, burrs kind of get a bad rap, but everything's got its place here. We let it grow where it's not messing with us. Plantain, got some broadleaf plantain here. That's really good for bug bites and stuff. We use that one, especially for bee stings when the kids get stung. A lot out through here it's dandelion and dandelion type plants, relatives of those, and the wild sunflowers and the wild lettuces and wild aromaths. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not sure what it is. Got some different trees starting to sprout up. You get over here near the boulders and I can see, oh goodness, there's too many trees growing there now. There's walnuts and there's cottonwood and there's maple. I'm gonna have to cut some of that out. But there's also raspberries and blackberries and muscadines growing up through there. Get a lot of this stuff. Not real sure what it is. Looks like we got a trail here. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but there's a trail running through there. Animals been using that hole where those boulders are. More of this stuff. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but it grows real well in the shade. Get a lot of it everywhere. And then even down inside of that, we get some like these purple flowers. Not real certain what they are. If somebody knows, feel free to tell me. These tips, we see there's more plantain down in here. This one's more of a narrow leaf plantain. Also good for bee stings and bug bites. Shasta daisies, a lot of Shasta daisies coming up, and some of them still yet to grow and bloom. MeLinda loves Shasta daisies. Of all the wildflowers that just naturally grow around here, these Shasta daisies, these are my wife's favorite. We love letting them grow. A lot more of this stuff. Again, I don't know what it is, but it really likes the shade. As we come around, more dandelion type. Some member of the same family as the dandelions. More broadleaf plantain. I don't know what that one right there is. Not real certain at the moment. Got some morning glory growing here. I don't like morning glory, but it is a native plant, and it grows. We let it grow. Like I said, everything has its place. A little bit of sour clover here. You ever eat that? Add it to a little salad. That's some good stuff. Here's a muscadine. I talk about muscadines. It's the native grape in the Midwest. It's the Indiana grape. We get these growing everywhere. I've got some huge vines that I could show another time. We get over in this area, we've got a whole lot of Timothy growing. It's another one we like to have around, and it grows thick right here. That's good for the rabbits. It's good for the deer. I'm going to assume Grandpa planted the Timothy and these other tall grasses when we had horses out here. But it is native, so maybe there's a rooster. It is native, so maybe it does grow. It did grow native out here. I don't know what Grandpa did when he set up the pasture. And we come back around to this side, and of course we've got another stand of ragweed. You know, let's stop and talk about ragweed for a minute. If you were to stroll around my property, you would find giant ragweed growing everywhere. Literally everywhere. This giant ragweed is a prominent native plant that grows huge. It can get up to 12 feet tall in 1 year. I love giant ragweed, but it gets a terrible rep. It seems that at some point in time, some humans started sneezing, getting itchy and runny eyes, and they saw this big plant everywhere and decided that must be the cause of this allergy. And they passed that down from generation to generation to where now you have literally millions of people who, when they sneeze and their eyes run and they're coughing, they claim that they have an allergy to ragweed. So they cut it out and they replace it with turf-type fescue grasses. They get rid of it. They see it as a noxious weed. But as my wife and kids all have some pretty serious allergies, we see an allergist often. And according to our allergist, this giant ragweed is the most commonly claimed allergy and least commonly diagnosed allergy there is. Everybody claims they're allergic to ragweed because they were told they were by people who were told they were allergic to ragweed. And it just goes on and on. And I see this a lot. Just a couple weeks ago, I was around someone who was sneezing a lot. Their eyes were running. I asked them about their seasonal allergies, and they said, well, it's the ragweed. And I don't have any reason to confront anybody about this or try to tell them they're wrong. But in my mind, I'm thinking, it's the middle of June. I can guarantee nowhere within 1,000 miles is any ragweed blooming. Ragweed blooms in late summer, usually late August, September, sometimes even in October. But so instead of confronting them, I just said, well, maybe you should go see your allergist about that. Like, well, I take Zyrtec and I just forgot it today. But this ragweed is killing me. And so we see it all the time, this claim to be allergic to ragweed. So according to her, according to our allergist, an allergy to this plant right here, this giant ragweed, is actually quite rare. In fact, even though everyone claims they're allergic to this, the most common allergy is an allergy to the pollen and turf-type fescue grass. The very thing we go through and cut down all this ragweed, and the very thing we replace it with is what everybody's allergic to. But I don't want to spend a lot of time dragging others down. You do your property, your plants, your allergies, that's fine. I let my giant ragweed grow. And the big question is why? Why do I let this big weed take over areas that I don't do anything with and areas that I don't use? Well, according to the Department of Natural Resources, this plant right here, this giant ragweed, produces a seed that has a higher protein to weight ratio than any other native plant we have. What that means is this plant is essential to the survival of the birds and the animals that overwinter here. And not just the animals, but if we ever end up in a survival situation, ragweed seeds can be processed and eaten. I've done it one time. They're not delicious, but if they were keeping me alive in the winter, I'd be praising the Lord for all the ragweed I could find. But during my life, I've seen many birds pecking at the ragweed after it goes to seed. I've seen the ground squirrels and rabbits, and even one time we saw a fox chewing on some ragweed seed in a harsh winter. It provides protein to all the animals. It's essential to their survival. So not only is it this huge, majestic plant that gets twice as tall as we are, puts out these just subtle little yellow flowers, puts yellow pollen on everything. When this stuff actually goes to pollen, it covers the cars and it covers the house, and that it lasts a few days, but it makes this neat, subtle little flower. It's big, it's beautiful, it's essential to nature. I love this plant. You're gonna see it everywhere on my property, and it. All right, so that's my giant ragweed rant for now. I'll let it go. I'll try not to bring it up again for a while. Let's go in here and take a look at some of the stuff we planted in this wild meadow. Now, like I said, I'm not a botanist or a florist. I don't know the names of most of what we planted. I do know some of it, and I know that I mixed about 60 different types of seeds out here when I was planting. The last time I showed you this area was in a community post. Nothing was taller than 6 inches, and it was all buckwheat. And I planted a bunch of buckwheat in this with intention, because buckwheat grows fast and it has a very short life cycle. So while it's growing up and doing its thing, the other plants are just starting to get established. And by the time the buckwheat is done, like we have here, you can see these seeds are already done. Smash some of this up, see if I can do it without losing them all. There we go. Nice black buckwheat seeds in there. Some of the animals around here enjoy it, but I know the bees and the pollinators love the flowers, and some beekeepers even like to have buckwheat honey. When we used to raise bees, I used to do fields of buckwheat quite often. But all through here, we've got a lot of other stuff. I got poppy right here. Little white poppy growing up. For some reason, a whole lot of poppies showed up in this corner, in all different colors. There's a pink one down in there. Then we've got these. I'm not real sure what that is. I know MeLinda's going to love that when she sees it. The little variegated tips on those. Got some purple flower back in here, getting ready to bloom. These little white flowers here. This, I think this is alfalfa. I could be wrong about that. Planted lots of wheat too. I threw some wheat in this mix just to have something else going to seed out here. Just providing something else with seed and protein for the animals. But then a lot of these things I don't know, like these little blue flowers, or these kind of pink, or maybe a fuchsia flower here. You have to forgive me with colors because I am colorblind. Let's walk around here a while, see what else we see. A lot more poppies. Like I said, this corner, for some reason, the poppy seeds got real heavy in here. I don't want to walk out here too much because there's still a lot of stuff growing, a lot of stuff blooming. I'm kind of wondering about this one. Has these like feathery leaves to it. If anybody knows what that is, tell me. And all these white flowers that you see now, this is all radish. I threw a bunch of radish in there, the kind that goes in a deer plot mix. I know the deer come through here a lot, so gives them something to munch on. We got these little flowers right here. They tend to bloom up in this just like tuft of red flowers. I don't know what those are either, couldn't tell you. And here, this isn't a great example of one. That's a cornflower. I don't like to plant and cultivate a whole lot of flowers, but when it comes to tossing out wildflowers, cornflower is one of my favorite. Try to get back in here without doing too much damage. These pretty blue flowers here. Get a shot of the leaves. If anybody said, if you know what any of these are, let me know. Some more cornflower down in here. I like the cornflowers. For a wildflower, cornflower is my favorite. Let me get back in here. Oh, MeLinda's gonna like these pink ones. A little bit more up here. Scaring off all my bugs and bees and butterflies at the moment. Oh, there goes a little butterfly. Lots of sunflower out here. The first sunflower bloomed about 3 days ago. And you can see there's several dozens that have now bloomed. Lately in the mornings I've been coming out here just sitting watching to see what the bugs and the wildlife do out here. Look at that poppy. Looks kind of orange to me, orange with a white frill. Oh, MeLinda's gonna love that one too. She said she'd come out here in a little bit. She's eating lunch right now. A lot more, whole lot more poppies still yet to bloom. It's one thing I like about the mix. I tried to be very intentional with the mix of plants in here, for plants that come up and finish and die off, and then new plants come up. Hopefully we have flowers and pollination opportunities throughout the whole season. Looks like something from a daisy family down here. Again, I'm not entirely certain. Getting ready to bloom, not quite out. I don't see any of those that are bloomed and out. Here's another cornflower, a little better looking. That one's kind of a light purple. That's pretty. There's another shot of what the cornflower normally looks like. Then we got these flowers down in here. We'll see a lot of those in a lot of different colors. That one's neat. Another one of those with these really feathery leaves. More of these. Hi, MeLinda. Come out here. You got to come down this way, honey. I was just talking about you and how much you're going to love one of these flowers. Oh, look at these cornflowers. Now this is interesting. I've noticed I come out here in the mornings and all the far petals on these will be white, and it'll be really concentrated blue in the center. And then by afternoon, it's still early afternoon right now. By afternoon, all that color goes out to the petals. It's one of the things I like about the cornflower. Come here, honey. Oh, I just saw another one we got to look at. But let's go back to this poppy. Huh? Yeah, the poppies in this mix there's more poppies than I thought there would be. But I've got one right here that I think you're just going to go crazy over. I could be wrong. Walking through the tall grass. Look at this.
Oh, it's orange.
Mm-hmm. Orange with the white tips on all the petals.
That's pretty.
Mm-hmm. There was a pink one, but I think it dropped all its petals.
Yeah, a few petals.
We still have a whole lot of poppies getting ready to bloom. Here's some that have bloomed. These are done. They're making seeds now. But let's go back that way. I just wanted to show you this because it's already open. It'll probably drop its petals by the end of the day even. But something caught my eye over here. I'll find it again. Oh, did you see this purple cornflower, honey? It's not the bright blue, it's purple.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a white one. There's an all-white cornflower back here.
I like the blue ones though.
Yeah, I love the blue ones are the more common. They're the ones I really like. Come look at this.
Oh, yeah. That's got a pink tip.
Yeah. I've never seen a cornflower like that. Love all the little mutations that you get when you throw out seeds from random sources. I mean, I mixed seeds from probably a dozen different sources out here and threw it all down heavy because I knew the birds in nature were going to come after a lot of it. No, there was something with like a pink pistil hanging upside down. Actually, it's over there. I have no idea what this is. I think it's intended to stand up, but it's just drooped.
Is that what we saw
And
the
maybe
other
it's
day?
supposed to droop. No, that's
Oh,
very
that looks
different. Yeah, that's interesting. If anybody knows what that is, you're more than welcome to tell me.
It's a honeybee.
This is what you were thinking about, honey. These right here?
No.
Oh no. Lots and lots of honeybees. I've been watching the honeybees.
And you told me to just come
Although I can't find them on camera. When I get the camera around, the honeybees disappear. Where is he?
Go on.
Yeah. Seen a lot of birds running back and forth through here,
Love the
picking off
sunflowers.
the pollinating insects. Here we go. There's honeybee. Tons and tons of honeybees out here. All different sizes too. I saw some that were
There's one over there, too.
some honeybees that were very black.
There's a big one.
What's that? Oh, the little sunflower. Now that's probably that tiny, the short sunflower.
No, the honeybee.
Oh, the honeybee. Oh, I thought you were pointing at the sunflower. Yeah, I see a bee.
Canola, maybe?
Yeah, a canola. Canolas are very short.
Look at that rose.
Lots and lots of buckwheat. We might need to have you learn how to grind up and cook buckwheat. Make like a buckwheat.
Flower.
Yep. Okay. Moving on. Oh, look, here's one. This is what I was talking about. When they first come out, the cornflowers look like this. But then within a few hours, all that color goes into the petals. Hopefully I got that. Yeah. Yeah, the corn of all the wildflowers, cornflower is my favorite. And then here, I'm pretty sure these, as we go all the way up through here, they're marigolds. They're going to be some of the super tall marigolds. Look at that little white and pink poppy, or pink and white. And then, wow, you just about stepped when you went in the hole, you just about stepped here.
No, that's in that hole.
Any idea what that is?
It looks like a marigold.
The head looks like a marigold, but look at those leaves. They look nothing like marigold leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know flowers.
Feel free to tell me. I don't either. I'm not a botanist or a florist. I just like throwing them out here because I like the nature that comes to it. And I like to sit and look at just pick out all the collars. Ooh, look at this one. That one that I just showed you, there's another one right back there that's kind of a magenta. MeLinda's better at collars than I am.
Considering your color.
Look at that. I don't know if the camera can pick up all of the bugs that are flying and floating around all these flowers. Okay, go around that way. That's where I'm going. Just take it wider. Don't walk in the hole. Stay in the grass, the tall grass. The tall grass is not within where I plowed or anything. There's actually a bit of a furrow through here.
Except for there.
That's where you stepped. That's the furrow.
Okay.
I'll step in the furrow. Some more of these.
You should know what those are.
Well, I should know what a lot of these are, but I have no clue because I don't do flower gardens really. Looks like we got quite a few of my wheat seeds came together here. Also got a lot of millet in here for the birds. The birds love millet. There's some more of those, more of the cornflowers that are waiting to fill out. Oh, Japanese beetles, the unfortunate visitors. I just wanted to come out and look on this sunflower for a second. I think my mind is moving slower than my ears. I hear all the bees buzzing, but I'm looking around and not really seeing the bees. Although I saw what I think was a cuckoo wasp over here. If he's still there. Nope, I didn't see where he went. There's some bees up in there. A little red one here. I don't know if we can even zoom in or not. Right out in here, a bunch of little daisies out there. What's funny is how fast it changes out here. It's nothing like it was yesterday. And then I'm getting a lot of this. It's gotta be corn. But I didn't put any corn in the mix. I've got a lot of corn coming up out here. I wonder if the deer drug some corn cobs in and missed some kernels and spread them around. Because I know I didn't put any corn in the mix. Yeah. Oh, honey. You gotta see this flower. Walk right through here. There's no hole right here. I promise. There's no hole till you get here. So if you stay to right there where these clovers are, you can see the flower just fine. I'll come out in here. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. You see that collar?
Yeah.
Never seen anything like that.
Looks like it's got a border.
Yeah. And then there's a big old marigold right there. Ain't even fully bloomed yet. Goodness, there's so much in here I'd never be able to see it all, and I couldn't even begin to tell you what all I planted. Just know there's 60 or 65 different varieties of plant. I got them from several different sources. Mixed a lot of stuff together and planted it heavy, knowing that the animals, that nature would be picking off some of the seeds. Huh? No, as long as you stay in the tall grass, there's no hole. You get out of the tall grass and you're kind of on your own. But right here's another stand of cornflowers, the way they normally look, except these have a little bit of purple in the middle. And you go back in there and you have some that are fully bright blued out. The centers of
Do you see the orange back there though?
the orange, oh, back in there, back in the center. From here it looks like a bunch of orange poppies. We'd have to trample a lot of plants to get back in there and look at it. Yeah, I'd prefer not to. Even this radish has some neat looking flowers sometimes. And more wheat. Even though I mix those buckets real well, it's like a lot of the times the wheat kind of came in groups. There's a group of 1, 2, 3, 7 stalks there. There's 6 or 7 there. There's 3 there. There's a bunch here. They didn't spread out as much as like all the wheat seeds stuck together.
There's another pink poppy. The dark pink.
They're in the middle? Yeah. See where you can see the furrow, right? Okay.
No,
Yeah,
you're
just
gonna step in it.
just don't step in the furrow. It'll be all right. Look at that that's a really bright orange. Very much looks like a poppy. I think it
Yellow
might be.
and orange.
Is that yellow and orange? I'm colorblind. It looks one color to me.
Oh, really?
I don't see any variation in it. I probably put too much wheat now that I'm sitting here looking. And I don't like that the grass has taken over. More grass grew than I wanted. I probably should have plowed it in the fall instead of in the spring. But that's all right. Lots of bees, lots of butterflies. More of what looks like corn right out here. But it doesn't look exactly like corn. I'm not sure. I wonder if it's like well, I don't know how barley corn grows, and I don't know if there was any barley. I don't want to say that because I have no clue. I also don't know what oats look like. I bought some oat seeds and threw them in the mix. I have no idea what oats look like.
There's some bees.
Hmm.
There's some bees. What's there?
Whole lot of bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they dump out.
The bees love the radishes. They're all over the radishes. They're busy, busy, busy. Too fast to stop and talk to us. Look at this sunflower stalk. It's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads on it. We get something like that once in a while.
The one beside it.
Yeah, the one beside it's just going to have one. And of course, like I said,
I bet there's a giant behind it. It's just now forming a head.
yeah. And I tried to plant this stuff so that as things died off, new things were blooming. I've got something here, not sure at all what it is. Hasn't even started to bloom, but it's starting to form heads there. Any guesses on what that plant is, let me know. Maybe by the time I come back through this again.
See the pink? It's like the border.
Oh yeah. There's like a white and pink poppy down in here. It looks white on the side to me. I need to stop talking colors. I know. I'm severe. I actually am severely red-green deficient, colorblind, and I'm okay with colors until MeLinda comes around to remind me that I'm not.
What is this?
Oh, looks like buckwheat is already reseeded. That's like a lot of young buckwheat running up through here. That's giant ragweed.
Oh, of course it is.
And here's a tree I've planted. I've not put up a video about that. You'll probably get that video after this one. But yeah, there's some buttonweed in here, but there's also, it looks like buckwheat. Which it's about time for the buckwheat to reseed. I mean, you see all this, it's all right here. That stuff's ready to drop. It can cycle a couple times in a year. I did plant a bunch of wildflowers out through this, where we're walking right now. It's not seen any really come up though. It got too hot too fast.
Maybe it still will.
Yeah, we still might get something. And some of those seeds will stay viable.
Feels bright blue.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like metallic.
And somehow it's like we got almost no seed through here. There's all this grass. And I know I walked through here because I can see the post down there where the rock is that tore up my plow. I know I planted seeds through here. There's just not much in it. But MeLinda was pointing out these little bright blue flowers. Not sure what they are.
I see lots of pink down here.
You see lots of pink down here?
Oh, there's quite a bit of pink in there too.
Yeah. I think all this white, all the white from the radishes helps all the other colors stand out. At least to me it does. Yeah. It's like a perfect little pink poppy right down here, honey.
I like how they just look like tissue papers.
Yeah, they're very thin. They don't last very long either, though. Once they bloom, that bloom is here in 1, maybe 2 days if you're lucky, and it's gone. There's some more of this.
I'd like to know what that is.
Me too. More wheat. That's almost done, almost ready to start drying out. And here's a very different looking little purple flower.
That's the one with the pink stem.
And the little white flowers too. I don't know what those are.
It could be a type of baby's breath.
Type of baby's breath, you think?
Could be.
Possibly.
But I don't know much about flowers.
You're like me. You just like to have them around.
Very nice poppy.
Mm-hmm. There's another little pink puppy. Lots and lots of bugs. There's some kind of daisy right out in there.
There's another pretty poppy. The perfectly shaped poppy.
Yeah. I figured you would go crazy over these.
I love those.
Yeah. And they're kind of everywhere through here.
That almost looks like an impatient, but the flower looks a little like an impatient, but not the plant.
Yeah. I'll get a close up on your perfect poppy here. You say that's a perfect.
Although I guess it's been eaten.
Well, it has been chewed on a little bit. But haven't we all?
Any sweets about to turn?
Yeah, I noticed some of it is. Some of it's getting there. There's another little one here. Something from the daisy or wild sunflower family. Lots of very fast moving little bees, little cornfly looking things. They're probably not even bees. I see about three different varieties, 3 different species of them just in that one area right now. I know the camera will never pick it up, but explaining what I see. That's why I should have, when the boxwood bloomed this year, I really should have got the camera out and I didn't. Because of I bet there was 9 or 10 different variety of the cornfly there. Did you see this little thing, honey?
That's what I was saying. The flower looks a little like an impatient. Although now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't really.
Yeah, I don't think it looks like an impatient, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. As long as I'm smart enough to know that I don't know, I'm doing okay.
Well, not teeny tiny, but small.
Yeah, that's a tiny little puppy. I think so. Looks like the leaves look like poppy.
It's likely something different.
Yeah, the camera probably can't catch all the bugs, but you can see the leaves jumping around and it's mostly cornfly type little boogers. What's the other name for them?
Hoverflies?
Hoverflies, yeah, because they're not all cornflies. We tend to call the ones that hang around cornflies.
I really like them.
What's that?
The ones you thought I'd go crazy over.
Oh, they're like a hot pink, and they're all through this field. I don't know what they are though. Did you see this? The almost, it's a bright yellow, and I'm not even going to try to describe color. You tell me what color it is. Oh, oh, that's not a poppy. It's separate from the poppy. I was gonna say that's not a poppy. That's kind of neat.
The center's almost like a daisy.
Mm-hmm. And here's some kind of daisy here too. That may be what that is going to become. No, it's very different shaped petal. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I do think I'm going to have to go look up and see what the oat plants look
One of
like.
those flowers. It's almost black.
Like what? Which one?
The,
That one? Like that one?
Mm-hmm. They're very
Look,
distinct black.
here's one of those.
They might be different. That one looks bigger.
Could be.
I don't know. The center's starting to come out like the one.
Yeah, it is starting to cone up, ain't it? Maybe they do become something similar anyway.
I just wish the bugs liked me a little less.
You wish the bugs liked you a little less? I wonder if I can catch this little guy landing somewhere. There's a little wasp praying around, looking for something to eat.
Too much to choose from.
Yeah.
Right
Well, the bugs come from the pollen, and the wasps come for the bugs. And then the birds come for the bigger bugs.
Not wearing the appropriate attire to be in here.
Ooh, this cornflower honey. These haven't started to bloom yet, and you can see how they're white. Yeah, I tell you, in the morning the petals are bright white for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, when they first bloom in the morning, the petals are bright white, and by the end of the day, all that color has dissipated.
Poppy opening.
Ooh, a young one.
As much as I like pink,
Uh-huh.
I think I prefer the red poppy
You like the red poppy?
because their color is so vibrant.
Yeah. Is that a red poppy there?
It's close.
Close.
It's an orangey red.
Well, I couldn't tell you if it was an orangey red.
Well, like that one out there I pointed at is a red.
Oh yeah, I can see a bright red spot back in there. And there's a white one, pure white poppy.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
I don't know if the camera can see that, but
Yeah, I couldn't see it from over there.
here's another with your white frill on the pink,
It's almost like a coral.
like a coral.
Using different colors for you.
Yeah, keep telling me all the varieties of color that I will never see, and I will keep loving you. I promise.
Ooh, look at this one.
Oh, tiny little puppy in there.
It's definitely a coral.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little blue in the center.
And this is going to be a little sunflower, and this is going to be a little daisy. And here's more poppies that haven't came up yet.
Poppies.
I didn't realize, here's another bright white poppy. I didn't realize how much poppy seed was in all this. I didn't imagine there would be that much poppy seed.
Well, poppy's very hardy.
Yeah.
They look so dainty, but it doesn't take much for them to grow. If you think about it, that's what grew so well on the fence row, too.
Oh, I was gonna show that one, and I moved it, and all the petals just flew off of it.
No.
They're so fragile. All right,
There's
so
all sorts of coral. That's a whole little section of coral.
coral. So what?
Light orange.
Describe coral. Light orange. Okay. So light orange is probably close to yellow for me.
That right there?
That looks like orange, or maybe I would almost call that peach. Is that coral?
No.
Okay. I
It's
just
different.
noticed another big white flower back there that does not
yeah.
look like a poppy.
It looks like a daisy.
I'm gonna have to go find that, see what it is. Yeah, I did not see that the first pass through. Let's see if we can get out here and see what that is. without destroying too much. I just hate trampling through here, even though I know the deer come through here and trample things and eat things and munch on it. I don't like.
It's not too far from the grassy area.
Should I go in from the grass side?
It might be better.
Okay.
You have to walk further, but
Oh, that's all right. I'll walk.
also it's not.
I'll walk. It's good for me. Makes me sweat. I need to lose weight, so.
Drink more water.
I don't know if you noticed that one the first time around, but that, to me, that looks like a bright red poppy that is disfigured. Something ain't right about it.
I think it's lost its. I think it's just one penny.
It could be. No, it's.
No?
It just hasn't opened yet.
Oh.
That's okay.
And give a poor poppy a complex.
There's one out here that's almost a red with a white frill around it. I know, I said I wasn't going to talk collar, and then I did.
It's okay. You're close.
I'm close.
Ow.
Careful that edge, honey.
My foot's like, please stop.
This is different from everything we've seen flower. I don't know what that's going to be.
This kind of looks like a marigold.
Yeah. Although I think that's a native plant. I don't know what it is, though. You know, that grows around here. What was I going for? I'm going for that big white flower.
Going to the grassy area.
Okay. Going up in the grassy area, there's a big white flower back here that I had not seen. I know, that's the hard part, is going to be finding it again. That's going to be a big sunflower head. You have eyes on the white flower?
Yeah.
I've lost it.
Quite a bit further.
Okay. I see it now. Oh. Got some baby's breath going down in here. So even where the grass really did take over, there's still a lot of little flowers and stuff in here. Seeing a lot of cornflower down in here, some baby's breath, got some poppies about to shoot up. So even where the grass stayed thick, it didn't do too terrible. Oh, I got foxtails growing in here. I didn't plant no foxtail. I do not like foxtail. It was very bad, huh?
Jacob does.
Yeah, but it's very bad for animals' digestive tracts. You can bind them up. Here's the white one we were looking at. Here's the white one we were looking at. It's out here in the middle of everything. I don't think there's any other white one like that out here. There's another red poppy. Probably tired of me saying poppy. There's so many poppies out here. Another sunflower that's going to have a whole lot of heads on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9, probably 10. Here's another white and purple in the cornflower. I wonder if it just depends on how much sun they get. With this stuff surrounded by the grass, it didn't get the sun all day and doesn't turn out entirely blue. Although maybe it's just a variation, because here's another blue. All right, that sun's gonna get real hot real quick. I can't hear you, but that's okay. You just heading for what? Shade. Okay. So this is it in the bright sunlight. From a distance, it looks like a whole lot of white out here, but there's a whole lot of color and a whole lot of life. Well, there you have it, folks. A little unplanned rant about the giant ragweed and a grand tour of what's going on in our wild pasture. But now I tell you what, I'm tired. I'm worn out. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm sticky. I've got grass seed all over me, propagating just as God intended it to, sticking to us and the animals and spreading the seed out. Now, I'm normally not nearly anywhere near that invasive to this wild pasture as we were today. I like to sit back here and watch it from a distance or watch it on the cameras. Once in a while I'll go up to the edges, but I rarely ever enter it like we did today. I don't like to intrude that much. We've set this up for nature, and we try to leave it to that. But maybe here in another month or so, maybe we'll give a 3-month update and see what all has changed in that time. I tell you, every time I look out there, it changes. So I expect it to be something completely different at the end of July. But we'll see how that goes. And if you watched this far and you saw any of those plants that we had no idea what they were, but you can identify them, please by all means let me know in the comments section. I don't like using the phone app so much that's supposed to identify plants. It doesn't always work so well. So if you know what any of those are, feel free to let us know. Or if you have any ideas or even gripes and complaints about what we do, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. But that's all I got for you today. So until next time, keep on nourishing your dreams, cultivating your passions, embracing the beauty of God's creation. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. I thank you for joining us, and we will see you then.